Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Hot Wheels The Dark Knight Batpod, which also appeared in The Dark Knight Rises. This is recommended for ages 8 and up, and is from the new line of Batman vehicles. Spin around the back of the package. Other vehicles available, and it says at the top they're based on Batman films. Other vehicles available is the Bat from Dark Knight Rises, the Batpod, the 1980s Batmobile, and Batman and Robin Batmobile. One thing to note, though, is that the coloring on the back doesn't match really what the vehicle is on the front. The back has it more as a silver, black treatment, whereas if you spin around to the front, it's clearly more like a gold, almost more like a, I guess like a beigey gold kind of thing. I don't know if I'm really crazy about that coloring, I have to admit. Needless to say, Spot's going to take a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Batpod. It's more. Anyway, guys, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's have a look at the Batpod. One thing I can start by saying is, scale-wise, it's overly large. Doesn't quite fit maybe the scale of some of the other vehicles that we've had a look at, even really by comparing it to the likes of the newer vehicles, which I've already stated were overly large. The Batpod's even bigger than that. Just as a scale comparison, let's bring in the vehicle that the Batpod should really come from. That's the Tumbler. Now, the Tumbler was big, but comparing it to the likes of other Hot Wheels vehicles, at least it was in scale. Unfortunately, the Batpod is way too big. If you even compare it the tire, as the tire would have originated here, the Batpod should only really be about that size, and instead they opt for a much larger vehicle. I get it. I do get it that if the Batpod was really only about that big, it would be a harder sell because people would think, well, you know, I can get a vehicle that's a little bit larger for the same price. It seems a little bit small. But I'm all about scale. I like things to be accurate to scale to one another. I wish the Batpod was maybe a little accurate to scale to the Tumbler. And I understand that the Tumbler has varied in sizes as well. They're much smaller, basic-looking Batpods or Tumblers. But this is my go-to Tumbler for Hot Wheels. Just a great-looking vehicle. So I would hope it would have been just a little bit smaller in scale, but it is what it is. Having a look, though, at it, it's not bad. In hand, the coloring still kind of bothers me. It's a little on the jarring side. I wish that this copper color was swapped out instead with that dark silver or dark gray as it appears in the movie. And then, like the rest of the actual frame, should be more of a darker black. Instead, they've opted for a lighter gray and this copper color. Not overly crazy about that. The handles on the front of the Batpod, where of course Batman would be leaning forward, or Catwoman. The front, as you can probably see too, is the cannons. The cannons are very rubbery, I guess, to prevent breakage, or of course, you know, safety, child safety as well. But this is all very, very soft rubber. It's painted nice in the sense that the detail is good on it. I just wish that the coloring was not quite this color. Doesn't really read movie accurate to me. Some nice little notable touches is that the tire treads have been sculpted to look like tires, but they're not rubbery. In fact, they do feel like they're more plastic than rubber, something else I kind of wish that they were changed. But I think the Batpods are kind of like the Batmobiles. There's varying different releases of them, some a little bit more accurate than others. I find just this particular release is not the greatest of Batpods. The paint is good, but I just feel the wrong colors were used instead. As you would expect, it should hopefully roll, and it does roll very easily. It's unfortunately kind of a mixed bag. On some end of it, I do think the vehicle turned out good. On the negatives, though, once again, like Hot Wheels are making these vehicles too big. They just don't fit scale-wise to the other vehicles that they've released in the past. And in the case of the Batpod here, the coloring just doesn't quite gel with the way the Batpod should look from the movie. So for that, it's okay. Cool to get a Batpod, just wish it was a little bit better. Today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the Hot Wheels Dark Knight. And this was the Dark Knight Batpod. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots in your way. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.